Hello, everybody. Kimberly Maskey here, your fearless leader here in Spiritual Biz Success, founder of Spiritual Biz Bootcamp. So this is a funny one, and I'm sure you have all experienced this. If you ever had anyone try to negotiate your rate, like you're talking to them and they're interested and they're like, this is amazing, what you do is amazing, but well, at the end of it, when you present your offer or what your rate is or what your package is, that they go, oh, well, I think it should be for this, and they try to negotiate. And that absolutely cracks me up. And I'm sure we've all been there. We've all seen it. We've all been in that position. And I bet you the first time it happened to you, you were like, what? And you were probably shocked. You were probably caught a little bit off guard because you weren't expecting someone to try to negotiate, because that just seems like such a funny thing. Now it's different. If we're out at a flea market or something, then negotiate till the cows come home, because that's what that's all about. But when you're running a business, there's no negotiating in your business, not when it comes to your time, the services you offer, and your rates. So when that happens, it's, like I said, it's very funny. Here's what you need to do. Because first, like I said, you're probably caught off guard. You're like, what? What was that? And then what you need to do is you need to be prepared, actually. You need to be prepared with a response so that you can stand in your power, stand in your energy, and in your strength and your certainty of who you are, so that you don't waver and you don't go, oh, like, okay, like, let's negotiate. Because when you start negotiating, I mean, that's your time. That's your knowledge. You're healers. You're doing amazing things for people. There's no negotiating around that. So here's what you need to do if someone tries to negotiate. The first thing you need to do is you need to tell them, why are you holding yourself in such a low light? Because if they're negotiating from a place of scarcity because they don't think they have enough, or they can't get enough, or it's too expensive, if they start doing that, then you really need to just go, why are you holding yourself in such a low light? Because it happens that's what they're doing. They've disconnected from source, because if they were living in full abundance, they wouldn't be in scarcity. They wouldn't be worrying about stuff. They wouldn't be going, oh, I don't know if I can do that. So when you've got someone that's like, oh, well, I think my rate should be this, or I think this should be the rate because of whatever, or they try to tell you how much they can help you, I just have to laugh at that. And so you really have to have a response. You need to be certain in who you are. And the first thing you need to say is, why are you holding yourself in such a low light? Because the reason why they're trying to negotiate is because they actually don't see, they don't see that they are fully abundant. And then the other piece of that, them holding themselves in a low light, is that they're not holding you in a low light, because they're not seeing the value of what you're doing. And I guarantee you, if you ever take on a client that does the negotiation and you agree to it, they will be probably one of your least favorite clients ever. Because what's happened is they've devalued what you do. They've devalued the value of what you're presenting to them. And not only that, they're actually devaluing themselves, because yes, they're seeing themselves in a low light because they're not seeing that they're in full connection with source and create and manifest whatever they want. But they're also missing the fact that when they invest in themselves, when they stand up and tell the universe, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to invest in myself like this, investing with you so they can change their lives, because all of you guys are doing truly life-changing work, that they're missing the power of being able to step into that and tell the universe, this is what I'm doing, I'm investing in myself because I am going to change my life. They're missing that process, because you charge your rates, and I teach this in boot camp, what to charge. This is a big piece of what we talk about. And so you're charging your rates not because you believe in yourself, but because you believe in the client, because you want them to get such amazing results that they show up. And when people don't charge very much, or they're negotiating your price, what they're doing is they're not showing up for themselves. And it's really unfortunate. And it's really sad, like breaks my heart when I see it. And so you, though, need to be stepping in your power enough to be able to say, no, that's not what I do. You need to be prepared, right? You need to be prepared. Because again, when someone tries to negotiate the rate with you, what they're doing is they're saying, I'm in scarcity, I've disconnected from source. They're seeing themselves in a low light. They're also saying they don't value what you're doing because they've got some other idea of what can happen. And that's showing that there's no value there. And I promise you, they will be the most frustrating client that you'll ever have, because they won't, not only will they not value what you're doing, but they're not going to show up for themselves. They're not going to show up for themselves because they've missed the opportunity to invest in themselves and to be able to stand up and tell Source, this is what I am doing, and I have a belief in myself. So they're missing all of those things. So what you need to do as an entrepreneur is you need to now set your certainty in yourself so that when someone goes to do that, that you have a response. First of all, what you're doing is you have a business. This is the most important piece. This is a business. This is not a charity. This is not a nonprofit. You are running a business. And this is what I teach you in Spiritual Biz Bootcamp. I teach you how to set your pricing, teach you to set your boundary around being a business. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to respond to them being like, why do you see yourself in such a low light? And that's really the only answer you can give. And you don't budge from where you are. Because like I said, I promise you they will be the most frustrating client you have, because they're not seeing the value of what you're doing, and they're just not seeing themselves in the highest light either. And then you just let them go on their way. They weren't a client to begin with. And so just hold yourself in your certainty that what you do is amazing. Sometimes when a spiritual entrepreneur gets in scarcity, they'll work with someone that they don't really want to work with because they're like, oh, I need the money. Don't do that. Then that's just you're in scarcity, right? You're sitting in this total scarcity and you've disconnected from Source. You have to be sitting in such a place of connection with Source, of seeing the light within yourself, of knowing that you can create whatever you desire. And when you can create whatever you desire, you are more than happy to tell someone, no, that's not how I work, because I am abundant and I know that my next amazing client is right behind you. So the next time you have that situation pop up, when you are faced with someone that is devaluing themselves and devaluing your work and holding themselves in a low light because they're trying to negotiate the price with you, that's what you need to do. And if you want to learn more about being a spiritual entrepreneur, if you're tired of trying to figure this out on your own and you're ready to truly skyrocket and really create that six-figure spiritual business, Spiritual Biz Bootcamp is probably the place for you. I will put a link above. You can watch my free training. You will also see I did a free training in here last week about your books. So those of you who are authors or thinking about authors, it's an amazing training. I highly recommend you watch that so you can get some great tips about how to really start to begin to monetize your book. Even if you haven't published one yet, there's some great tips in there. But if you're sick and tired of trying to figure out your business on your own and you know that you are ready to serve at the highest level, because only when you have a business are you truly serving at the highest level, because that's how you have the greatest impact. Watch the training above and reach out to my team, book a call, and we can help change your life. I'll see you guys in the next video.